Hello, everybody.
Oh, she's starting it today. See, let's just see how loud you are. Yeah, no, you look similar to me on the thing.
I think maybe I've just got a pitchier voice.
Guys,
That's
we're sorry
the
if
thing.
Leah was crazy in the last,
Yeah.
vocally quite wild in the last couple of episodes.
I tried my best to really bring me down, which took me a while, but I was like, wow.
I've not listened to them yet.
I need to
actually very
hold it
intrigued.
further away. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
I think you're fine.
If you see me start creeping up like this, because if you remember when I get thinking, I lip it.
You do put an accent on. You know this, right?
I don't put
See, that was loud. That was really loud for the people's ears. That was loud for my ears, and I'm just sat right here. Fucking hell. No, you do. You do put an accent on. You do. Like when my mum and that watch these episodes, they'd be like, "Who is that?"
I don't put an accent on.
You really like when you have a performative voice. You do have a performative voice. I feel like
I have just been hosting for 6 months.
I know. Like when do you know when you sent me that video for when I did the Halloween thing, and you sent that video in for the video.
Yeah.
That makes no sense, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Utterly different person. Utterly different person. The vocals on you were up and down crazy.
Yeah, but then it's like your telephone voice, isn't it?
Well, this is the thing. I'm sure I used to have one when I need to stop talking with my hands.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I told
guys.
you.
Kind of everything, though.
Often makes an appearance in my
Kind of everything.
camera.
But I'm sure I used to when I first started doing videos. But I feel like
You still do.
I don't think my voice is any different to what I talk to you like.
I think when you listen back to those, you'll agree that you're the same. You have to. You have to enunciate.
But I don't think it's not that you're enunciating. You have a certain inflection that you don't have off camera.
Inflection.
But it's all right. You've only done 4 episodes. It's the fourth episode. Good for us.
Wow.
High five.
Yeah.
Guys, welcome. Hi.
Hi.
We've got a really fun episode for you planned today. We're not really sure where it's going to go because we do have plans. We're not sure how the plans are going to go.
No, it's a bit on the vague side.
Because we decided to do something, and we realised just before starting this episode that Leah.
No, it's not just me. You haven't seen much either.
I have seen more than you.
What, Kim Possible?
I've seen Kim Possible, Phineas and Ferb, which wasn't even on the list.
It was.
You put it on the list?
Yeah, because I had to ask you.
We're spoiling it. We're spoiling it. But anyway, hi guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the first few episodes. We're recording this still before we've even put up the first episode. So we're hoping that you're enjoying them.
Yeah.
If you've got issues with the setup, trust and believe they will get rectified. But maybe for the next couple of episodes. But we are pre-recording a bunch of things because Leah is going to right.
I had to beep that on the other one. So now scrap that.
But anyway, guys, we've got a really fun game that Leah's going to describe and tell you about because it's not a game that I came up with. I don't know where this came from, but Leah had a good idea and we're doing that. So tell them what it is, Leah. Go for it.
So we're going to call it What's the Story in Balamory? Wouldn't you like to know?
Because nostalgia, first and foremost. We've given it the name because we needed a name for the segment. So that's the segment name.
Yeah.
Because I used to love Balamory.
Yeah.
This really fits actually with the theme of the episode.
Yeah, exactly. And you used to say I looked a bit like Miss Hooley when I had my hair shorter. A little bit.
I didn't. I used to say it looked like her from Matilda. It was Miss Honey from Matilda, actually, not Miss Hooley. Don't know who Miss Hooley is.
This whole time I thought you were saying Miss Hooley.
No,
Miss Hooley, she's the one with the hair like that.
No, I'm on about Miss Honey from Matilda, which was actually a compliment. So I'm glad you took it in a negative light. All this time I was giving you a compliment, being like, "You look like Miss Honey, who's lovely. Like she's the nice teacher from Matilda, with the hair."
Now I understand, but I thought you said
Miss Hooley. Who the fuck is she?
From Balamory.
I don't recall her Miss Hooley, but I appreciate that nonetheless.
Anyways, so the game is where we're both going to give each other 10 words.
What?
Words.
Sorry, I'll stop taking the piss.
My accent is all over the place though, because I don't have an accent anymore. It's all up and down.
Well, this is the thing. I obviously lived in
Ling.
I lived in London for a while, so my voice is all over the place too.
Exactly. So stop.
Not as Barnsley as it used to be. Aren't you glad that we're not from Barnsley? And if people think we're common and stuff now and northern now, Barnes is a whole nother breed. Yeah,
to be fair, I used to lean into my Yorkshire accent a little bit on the ship because they liked it. The amount of people.
Oh, so you were performing?
No, so the people.
That's why her accent's fucked, guys. She doesn't know where she's from anymore.
the people used to like my accent, and I was quite shocked because I think we've got an awful accent.
No, people like the Yorkshire accent. I think it's actually on the list of like sexiest accents. It's up there. It is.
Sexiest?
I know, I wouldn't say so, but I know some people like it.
I think it's damn right rough.
Well, yeah, but I also think like generally wherever you're from, people don't love where they're from. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not like a thing that you're like, oh, yeah, love my accent. Like I love a Welsh accent.
Yeah, but do you know like the Geordies and stuff like that? They've got
Geordies.
They've got.
Sorry, Leah. Sorry, but it's just low hanging fruit.
They've got like a bit.
Geordies.
They've got like a bit more of a nice twang to the voice.
I can't stand Geordie accent. Sorry.
Ours is just like which is so.
Don't know about you, but I don't sound like that. I don't go.
Like if we leaned into our Yorkshire accent, Brad, like going, "Oh, you're all right, Cot. You're off to the shop."
See, I'm never speaking like that. Like that's just not on my radar anymore.
No, but we used to like, "Ma'am, I'm off to the shop."
But that was when I was younger. I think now, having been to London for years, like I don't go, "I'm off to shop."
You know that it's not funny. I've got school. That's our accent.
I don't know what that is.
Have you not heard that meme? Is it a meme? TikTok? Something?
Is it a meme? You're so not online. Like it's so like you just have no idea what's going on.
I don't know what they call it, but I'm guessing.
Is it a meme?
People that are watching this, right?
It will be a meme. Yes.
You'll know it, won't you? Where it goes, "It's not funny. I've got school."
Who is that?
It's a little girl, right, where someone's drawn on her face, and then she's like, "It's not funny, I've got school." But a lot of people say that one, and they always just take the piss out of me because I sound like that sometimes. Like, I actually say, "It's not funny," like that sometimes, if I lean into my accent.
It sounds Scottish. Are you sure it's Northern? It sounds Scottish to me.
It's the Yorkshire accent. "It's not funny, I've got school." It's
the way
Yorkshire.
You're saying it sounds Scottish.
Well, I'm a Yorkshire gal, it should be right.
Anyway.
What were we even
back
talking
to
about?
what's the story in Balamory?
What's the story in Balamory?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Woo! Yes, as I was saying, we're going to have 10
sweating.
words each. Now, I've got a feeling.
10 words, people. 10 words.
We've got very different words.
I can't wait for you to see what my words are.
I feel like mine are a different vibe to yours.
We'll see.
And basically, we're going to go one at a time. I don't know how this is going to go. And
I'm nervous.
Yeah, I know. I feel like there's pressure. Pressure.
It's performance anxiety. That's what it is.
And we've got to tell you a story, but we've got to go through those words, and we've got to have those words in our story. So I'm going to put the words on the screen and then highlight them when the person says it.
Slay.
Hopefully. Who's going to go first?
Well, I think we need to read out our words first.
No, I think as that person goes, like just before then we read them the words. So like I say, you go first, I'll read you your words. And then just before I go. Because otherwise if you tell me mine now, I can start to have a think.
You can go first then, right?
Why am I going first?
Because
Rock, paper, scissors.
I've got my paper in my hands.
Rock, paper, scissors.
No, I've got my paper in my hands. So, your words.
This is because he's nervous.
Your words. Here they are, guys, for the visual watchers. If you are watching visually, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, okay? And if you're listening, may as well plug it while we're here. Well, if you're listening, please do give us a 5-star review. It really goes a long way. Thank you so much.
Yes, it truly does.
Okay, so your words are drain,
right?
Turkish. That was the one that I don't really know where that came from. Dildo, flute, plastic, tangerine, mould, anal, radiator, plant.
Bradley, there's so many of them that could be taken in a rude way. Can I have a look again?
That's great. No, you've got to go now. You know how to plan. Go.
All right, so.
Story time. Wait, we got to sing. What's the story in Balamory? Wouldn't you like to know? Go.
All right then, so the other day, guys.
Sounds like a news report.
I was...
Okay then. Alrighty then. Sorry.
So the other day, guys, I had a problem. Can't speak. Had a problem with my drain at my house. Okay. And this Turkish man came to fix it. Yeah, but the problem was when he looked up the drain, he in fact found a dildo up there. So that's why the water wasn't coming out. Yeah. So then I was a bit embarrassed, so I pulled out my flute. I'm embarrassed.
Your flute? What are you going to do with your flute?
Stop interrupting.
Sorry.
I pulled out my flute and did him a song.
How did the song go? I forgot that it was a flute that you were talking about. So it wasn't words. Do you know what I mean? I expected it to be like a worded song. So that threw me off, but love it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was playing my flute for this Turkish man to try and take away some of the embarrassment, okay? This didn't in fact work. He then,
Are you going down the line?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You have to.
I didn't know that was a rule.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So how am I going from flute to plastic?
Oh, I could easily give that up.
All right, so yeah, I've got my flute out, all right? And then this Turkish man comes to me and he goes, here's your dildo. But one word.
Here's your dildo.
This was in fact the problem. But can you just answer me this one question? I said, yes, of course, why not? And he goes, why is it plastic? Isn't it supposed to be rubber? Is it? So I said, why don't you come inside where I can explain it a bit more, and you can have a tangerine if you like.
Perfect. That's good. You did really well.
I've got tangerines to offer you inside if you want to come in, and I'll explain a bit more to you, my friend. But then, guys, I got inside and then realised that the tangerines actually had mould on them. So then I was like, well, I've just offered him a tangerine. What do I do?
Just offer him the dildo.
So then I offered him the dildo and and said to shove it up his ass.
I'm crying.
And have a bit of anal if he wants. And then he said, yeah, but how am I going to do that? I went, stick it to the radiator. And there you go. And then you can go on there. And all the while he was doing that, I was watering my plants.
There was no anal in there.
I just said you can do anal with a dildo. Yes, I did. I was laughing. And then he said, how? I went, you can stick it to the radiator. And there you go. And all the while I was watering my plant.
That was really good. Honestly, I'd give that a 10 out of 10. I haven't laughed like that in a while. Guys, this is a great game. Do this with your friends. Wow, I look so red. But it is what it is.
Okay. Oh, but my words are really boring now, I think. I'm not sure.
Well, if you want to have a second to rejig your words, you can. We can take a break.
No, it's fine.
I need a minute.
It's fine. I feel like you can get creative with these. All right, so Bradley's words. Here we go. So I thought I'd make it easy and start off with coffee.
Oh, easy.
Okay, so it gives you a good story starter. Then we've got toilet brush.
Okay.
Mirror.
Okay.
Green. Fire alarm.
Mm-hmm.
Hot dog.
Yeah.
Kiss.
Oh, nice. Romance.
Fairy.
Very easy.
Letter.
Okay.
And horse.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Yeah, we definitely went different.
You went rude. I just had to say anal on the pod.
Well, I think that's funny. All the other episodes we were talking about bumholes and poos, so like, why not?
Right, if we do this again, I'm going to make it spicier.
Okay. Honestly, this could be a reoccurrer because I've enjoyed this. Okay. Should we sing?
Oh, what's the story in Ballamore? Wouldn't you like to know?
So, as I normally start my mornings, as you guys know, I do have a coffee.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favourite thing to do in the morning. Just waking up, flicking that machine, lovely stuff. Now, I did, in fact, because of the coffee, did need my morning poo. That's also kind of how my morning goes. This is basically just my morning routine. So I always tend to, after 1 or 2 sips of coffee, I have to go to the loo. Now, I'm not going to lie, this morning's poop was... Poo again on the pot. This morning's poop was a lot. Right, she was huge. So, of course, I had to whip out the toilet brush. Right, now, I've whipped that toilet brush out one too many times. I cannot lie. Also, my toilet just doesn't like to flush, but that's a whole other story. Obviously, as I was washing my hands, accidentally splashed all the water onto the mirror. So that was another thing I had to rectify and clean up. Very, very heavy on the clean up this morning, which is not ideal when you first woken up, you're groggy and all that sort of thing. Then I did, in fact... Where am I going with this? And how am I getting to green? So after all that was said and done, it was time for me to have my breakfast, of course. Now, I did, in fact, whip out the bread. It was green. It was mouldy.
Oh.
There you go.
With the mould.
Well, what else is fucking green, you know? So yeah, it was green, it was mouldy, so that kind of pissed me off because I do like to have my bagels and my eggs and, you know, a bit of spam every once in a while. Right, then woe betide if the fire alarm didn't go off. And now you know my fire alarm, it's fucking loud, it's like a siren, right? So I had to obviously go downstairs, living in a flat block, everyone just pummels down the stairs, can't obviously use the lift, which thank God I live on the second floor, because trying to go from the 12th when I used to live on the 12th, Jesus Christ. Now, luckily, when I did get downstairs, there was a hot dog. There was a hot dog stand. So I know early in the morning you'd think that's be weird. But no, there was a hot dog stand, and I thought, well, I haven't been able to have my breakfast, so fuck it, let's have a hot dog for breakfast.
Of course,
perfect stuff. Now, obviously, as I was waiting for them to sort out the fire, because apparently there was a real fire, there was a couple, and you know me and PDA, I can't fucking stand it, and they were kissing like no one's business.
It says kiss, not
yeah,
kissing.
I'm getting that. So, as this couple was sharing a kiss, I was scoffing down my hot dog with some vigour. And obviously I am gay. So there's always going to be a little bit of heckling and, what's the word? Homophobia. So as I was, you know, honking down my hot dog, it obviously looked a bit like I was giving someone fellatio.
Right.
So of course, some nasty man did shout fairy. But I'm kind of used to that at this point. I get called fairy all the time, and I actually kind of like it. I've actually embraced it. It's part of my charm these days. And yeah, so then obviously on my way back into the building, I did in fact go and check my mail, had a letter, perfect stuff. And then I also found that I had a postcard in there with a picture of a horse on the front, which was really nice. Then after that, yeah, the day was kind of just general, but that was my morning, really tough.
Oh, really sad.
Honestly, that was a great story.
Good.
I slayed that.
That was good.
My story, that really flowed really well.
Well, you didn't have a dildo up a drain pipe, did you?
I mean, yours was definitely more entertaining of a story.
But that's because of the words.
You're welcome.
I think you should leave in the comments who you think did a better job.
Yeah, I think yours was a funnier story. I think mine flowed better.
You had more detail to yours.
That's what I mean, yeah. Mine was a bit more like...
Mine was a bit like, there was a dildo stuck up a drain, I pulled out my flute, you know?
Yeah, like, how did you go from, oh, I found a dildo in my radiator. Sorry, but was it your radiator?
It was in the drain.
So you pulled out your flute and gave the guy a song. Like, it didn't really flow. However, I think mine was a bit more professional.
Right.
Like, you know, like just morning routine with Brad.
There we go.
But no, that was really fun.
Yeah? You'll have to let us know if you like that one.
I'd love to do that again. That was really enjoyable for me. Honestly, well done. It's rare that you come up with some good ideas, and that was a banger.
Guys, are you hearing this?
Right, well, next, guys, basically, I got to thinking earlier, and obviously in one of the first episodes, might have been the first one, to be honest, we kind of spoke about kind of like our main hobby being dance and kind of how we got into that sort of thing. And I was thinking earlier, I was like, oh, I wonder what other hobbies like people had as kids that either they like continued to pursue and how they maybe changed their lives or whatever. Because it is interesting how like I think about these sort of things all the time when it's like, imagine if you never took up dancing, where would you be?
What would your life be?
Do you know what I mean? Like if you wasn't actually, before we get into this, if you weren't a dancer, like if you'd not, like Tracy hadn't taken you to street dancing,
well, you know,
what would you be doing?
You know, the other thing that I was good at school and that I loved.
What?
Maths.
You were freakishly good at maths. I will give you that.
Guys, I got an A star at GCSE.
Can't say you're good at English.
No, I was good at English, but I had to really work hard to get a good grade.
You didn't know, guys. I'm going to air out some grievances here. You didn't know what misogyny was.
Can you use it in a sentence again? Because I feel like I had an idea at the time, but I wasn't sure. But now I have no idea. Now you're saying it off the bat.
You don't know what misogyny is?
What is it?
This could get you hate.
Why?
Because misogyny is when people are misogynistic towards women. As if, like, men are better.
Like sexist.
Yeah.
So it's a fancy word for sexist. Yeah?
Well, yeah, people are misogynists when they, like, hate on women and think that they're less than. Yeah.
Right. See, I know the word sexist.
I should hope so, yeah. But yeah, guys, we were talking before, and yeah, the word misogyny came up, and she was like, "Now, what's that?"
Maybe this is why I have that problem then, because I didn't really have any interest in English. I actually hated it, but I was such a nerd.
Too busy being a math.
Yeah, but I was such a nerd that I couldn't fail it. Like I had to really,
of course.
Like I had to really work hard to get a good grade, and I did do well. I think I got a B.
Did Amy do well in her GCSEs?
She was average. She was like you, average.
Average. I did incredible in my GCSEs.
What did you get?
I got between C and A star, mainly B's and A's. Thank you very much.
Did you? I thought you got mostly C's.
No.
Maybe it went Amy, you, then me, then.
Are you forgetting Caitlin?
She was down at the bottom.
Caitlin was like barely even passing.
She doesn't even get
Leah,
around.
I was like just below you, I'd say. Like, don't get me wrong, I think you were better at the revising. And I think you could retain information more than I, but I think I'm still very smart.
Did you do French and German like me?
And these days, I'm sorry, I know way more than you about a lot of things.
Well, yeah, this was like 12 years ago.
Exactly, so look what matters now. Like, where's all that math got you? Fucking nowhere.
It would have if I'd gone into that route, but I didn't.
What could you have done as a mathematician?
I would have been an accountant.
Oh, how fucking boring.
But yeah, so I used to put that at the end of my quizzes because I used to be like, if I wasn't a dancer / entertainer, do you think I would have been a nurse or an accountant?
Absolutely not
and a
nurse.
No, but a lot of people used to put nurse. I must look like a caring person.
God, they don't know you very well.
But the thought of like the blood
That's
and
what I mean, like you're very squeamish from what I know.
Yeah, so no, and I'm scared of needles and stuff like that, so absolutely not. But yeah, so accountant for me.
What would you think I'd be if I wasn't a dancer? Because there was something else that I was very much interested in.
Like tattoo design.
Yeah, tattoo artist. I would have probably been a tattoo artist, I'd imagine.
I think if you wasn't this or a dancer, you still would have done something creative. I think that's the thing. You always have just been creative.
Yeah, I've never really had an interest in anything like remote. Like I could not sit in an office behind a fucking... I mean, obviously I sit at my desk now, but like only to edit stuff of me. Like I could never just like sit, do admin and fucking spreadsheets all day. Obviously some people have got to do it, so like my heart goes out to you. But like I personally couldn't do it.
See, I think now I couldn't be an accountant or anything like that because I couldn't not be active.
Well, this is the thing. I think it's one of those things though. It's like what the good thing about that though would be is like it's one of those jobs that you can go do the work, come home and don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I do envy people that have that because my job is all encompassing. Hello, it's all day every day.
Yeah. But no, I was gonna say something. You cut me off.
Sorry, I know I did, but I had that to say, and I thought it was interesting.
Oh no! Obviously, then with dancing and stuff, then your body gets used to being active. So then now, like even with stopping dancing, I think I'd have to still do something that's active because my body, that's what it needs.
But you could go to the gym.
Yeah, but it's like if I'm sat down all day.
That's what I do most days.
And then just have an hour at the gym. And mostly, like, if you've worked all day, sometimes you can't be bothered going to the gym because you're tired. And you only have so many hours in a day. And once you've got a family and stuff like that, do you think you're going to have as much time to go to the gym?
Honey, I'm not arguing with you. I completely agree. This is my experience.
So that's why I'm saying, like, now, like, back then, yes, if I wasn't a dancer, I would have been an accountant. But now, if I'm not a dancer, I think it would still be something active.
So what now, then? What would you think?
Maybe like a personal trainer or something.
I think PE teacher would be good for you.
PE teacher. Yeah, but then I've got to go back to uni and stuff like that.
No, I know we did speak about that. But I taking out of the equation all the logistics of it all, I think PE teacher, you'd make a good PE teacher because you do like to teach and like work with kids.
Yeah.
Like you are really good at that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Fuck that for me. I don't care about kids. Like I used to not hate, but like especially like a curriculum. Like, I could never have done what you did when you were like dance teaching, like you were teaching like syllabuses and stuff. Absolutely fucking not.
I love that.
No, it's mind-numbing and boring. Every week it's the same shit, in and out, in and out, in and out. I much preferred the choreography side of things. It was
but the amount of times I got kids from like that could barely do a paradiddle to then being like,
but like
perfect for their exam. Like they were so good.
But is that worth it?
Well, this is what you did growing up.
But like,
this is what I did.
But like, does it bring you that much joy to be like, oh, look at how far that person? I guess it does when you can kind of see like the result of the exam. Yeah. I guess that does give you kind of like gratification. So I can see that, but it's the getting there for me that I ain't got that. But give me some choreography, you know, give me a group of kids and I'll make you a gorgeous piece. Don't get me wrong, I see potentially in my future like creating like a professional company.
What, a dance company?
Mm-hmm. And touring. Because I still miss choreography and I miss all that sort of stuff. I just don't miss the grueling aspects to the industry. So, like, I'd love to be able to obviously have enough disposable income to be able to obviously do auditions, get a company together, tour it, do pieces, do shows, whatever.
I mean, we could do that.
No, totally we could.
Because then, it could be more of a company, and then, like, the two of us could hold auditions and stuff together, so it's not all on one person and stuff. Yeah. We could totally do that. Or even if, like, say, you had a choreography thing, but you were like, Leah, you teach at that audition, you do this, like...
Yeah,
could definitely do
just because like I'd love to be able to actually put together shows and pieces and like see it through the whole way. I think that is where my gratification is. Do you know what I mean?
I think because at one point I really got into choreography as well, but then doing your choreography on, no offense, but on like young kids that can't do what you
envision,
mind,
yeah, totally.
Then it doesn't really like, and then sometimes you'll go to teach and you're like, oh no, actually that's too hard for them, so then you have to think it down anyways.
Yeah,
so
I always hated that.
Yeah, so to actually do it, because when I choreograph, I go from how I feel it dancing, and I tend to see what move I'd want to do next. So then that's me as obviously a professional dancer now. So then not necessarily like the kids can't necessarily do that. So then you have to change it, and it's never like what you envisioned. And then so to actually do it on professional dancers, that would be quite fun.
This is the thing. Like I always like obviously loved doing pieces with whoever I got given. Like that's obviously like always enjoyed it, but it always was a bit of a like push and pull of like because I mean, you know me, I had some wacky ass ideas and like moves that like even I maybe couldn't do, but I wanted to see if somebody else could. And I never really felt like I had like the perfect group, because obviously it was just like kids that were accessible to you. Like you didn't necessarily have like the option to like pick your perfect team or group. And I think that would be so sick to be able to just like audition people and just like pick whoever you feel like could do what you want to do.
Yeah, that
would be so fun. And like touring it around and stuff, and then like even like down to like a set arrangement and like I don't know, I just think it'd be really fun. Like creatively, because a lot of my stuff is creatively driven. Like even this didn't need to be all this, did it? I took the idea one day and then we just ran with it, which is so fun for me. So I think that's our difference, is like you kind of got gratification out of like seeing the result, whereas like mine was like just kind of like a different result. Yeah,
I got more, what's the word? Gratification.
Another word she doesn't know.
From seeing from seeing the kids actually achieve something, whereas you got it from seeing your piece.
Seeing my vision come to life.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how we got onto that topic.
Hobbies.
Oh, shit. Sorry, yeah, hobbies. So yeah, otherwise it would be tattoo artist, I reckon, for me at this point. But I am low-key, not to keep talking about myself, but low-key I'm trying to like, this year specifically, trying to gear my professional career in like, obviously YouTube and this and whatnot is not changing, but I want to be YouTuber / artist. Like that's why I'm really holding out on relaunching my website and starting to sell stuff. But I'm having to wait for my domain to get switched.
What, as in your drawings and paintings and stuff? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I've got those 2 boxes there, prints ready to go. That was therapeutic for me. I enjoyed that. See how we go from cackling to just like in-depth talks.
General chit-chat.
So we've got... Let's read some of these hobbies because we've got a lot. So thanks for sending them in. Guys, if you haven't yet, make sure you follow the Instagram and my Instagram and Leah's Instagram, because we're always sharing stuff on the stories over there.
And we do both have access to the No We're Not Twins Instagram now as well.
Instagram, and we're going to be posting stuff on TikTok, so if you want to follow us on TikTok. But anyway, so I asked people to send in some hobbies and kind of whether they lasted or whatever. So we got a few funny ones at the beginning, so let me go right to the top. Oh. So actually, this is actually a sickening one, which I think is really cool. Someone said, Alicia James. Hi, Alicia. Shout out to Alicia James.
Shout out.
I begged my mam. She sounds Yorkshire. I begged my mam. That's Yorkshire.
There we go.
I begged my mam to be a dancer 14 years later.
That was me. I begged my mum to be a dancer.
Okay.
Sorry, I went loud again. I'm probably going to have to edit that down.
14 years later, I performed on the West End.
Wow.
Pussy.
I mean, you achieved more than me. That's great.
See, this is the thing. But the thing is, Leah, we would have been performing on the West End had we been able to sing.
Yeah.
That's the only drawback.
Yeah.
We have the talent. We're not going to sell ourselves short here.
No.
We had the talent. I went to one of the top ballet schools in the fucking UK.
Yeah.
You know, like, we're not going to sell ourselves short here, but we just couldn't sing.
I don't think it's that we couldn't sing, because I
wasn't confident singing.
Yeah, I feel like we can hold a tune. It's just that we hadn't had the training to have the confidence to go and do a solo audition.
And I also think being degraded when you had tried to sing
Bradley
in your childhood, I think that really does change a person.
If anyone's watching that went to a dance school, I don't know, you'll know exactly what I mean.
And honestly, I was giving what they asked me to give. You know, basically, guys, long story short, not to bore you, but in one of our shows, obviously, we used to do musical theatre. So we did have a passion for it. We were there for the vibes. And one of the pieces, what was the fucking song?
Was it Paintball Wizard?
Was that what I did my solo for? I did that for my solo for Janet Cram one year.
Is that
must have been. I think so. Maybe. But basically there was Pinball Wizard. What did you say?
Paintball.
No, it's Pinball Wizard.
That one. Pinball Wizard.
Yeah. There's a line in it where he sings I don't know. In the way
I don't know.
In the way I sang it. I sang it how the guy sings it and how they asked me to sing it. But I think something to do with the clip, like watching it back, everyone just found it really funny. And I didn't find it funny. Never, not once did I find it funny. I was just getting degraded constantly about it, and then everyone would take the piss. Oh, also, our Barbies are giving you a little show. Oh, my pet's fallen over. But yeah, so I think being degraded, widespread, to be honest, can change a person.
Pretty much nearly every episode you've said about being degraded, do you feel like you get degraded a lot?
Yes. Are you fucking kidding? I get degraded all the time. I'm too loud. We're not even going to start on that one, because that pissed me off. When they used to call me Fling Boy, used to hate that. Guys, do you know what our nicknames were, right, at our dance school? Right? So she got Disco Dolly.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Fun, spunky, woo.
Spunky? Don't call it spunky. I don't like
Australian. That. Spunky. I know what the connotation of spunk.
Yeah.
But Spunky's like, woo, spunky.
No, I liked it. It was fun. Yeah.
So she got Disco Dolly, right? Which had no relation to your fucking name, I might add.
No, but it was because I used to use my ribs a lot and stuff, apparently.
Oh. Right, she was a good performer. Right, she was a good performer, so it was a positive name, right? Mm-mm. I got badly. So my name just minus the R. So you really wonder why it took me so long to start caring. You know, and start actually working hard, because I was being told that I was... God, it's very Abby Lee Miller-esque, this, isn't it? Being degraded on every week, every lesson.
Do you also remember, speaking of, like, musical theatre, Bradley also got told to not sing. I don't know why I call you Bradley on the pod. Brad also got told not to sing, to mime, at one point. Do you remember?
When?
He did. This was when we were like towards the later like teens, so obviously his voice had broke, so he was a lot deeper than everyone else, so you could just hear him, and they told him, because they needed him in the routine for the dancing and the lifts, they told him to mime.
How fucking disgusting is that? Like, we're in a musical theatre piece and I'm just here as a prop. So you wonder, guys, why I have trauma and why I don't dance anymore, right? You wonder why, because it's how I grew up, right? Being told I was bad and less than and too loud and couldn't sing. But yeah, so I do feel like I get degraded often, yeah.
We've just gone on a tangent again, but what were we saying? Oh, here.
Yeah, she danced on the West End.
Girl.
Good for
Amazing.
her. Alicia James, well done.
Yeah.
I would like to know what show, so let me know in the comments, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, next person, Lil MZ Amelia. Lil Amelia. Lil Amelia.
Where did you get the MZ from?
It's in the username.
Oh, so why are you now saying Lil Amelia?
Because, like, what does MZ mean?
Oh, okay.
Lil Amelia.
Lil MZ Amelia.
Oh, that wasn't vigorous. So she says, football, and no, I kept on kicking it into my team's goal. Now, this I have to talk about.
I loved football.
So this is the thing. So Leah was obviously a football fanatic, loved it, right? But, once again, obviously being a gay, football and things...
Here we go.
Yeah, no...
Where's my violin? I've been degraded.
This is not the channel to start taking the piss out of the gays. This is not the channel.
I'm not taking the piss out. I'm taking the piss out of you.
There it is.
I've been degraded.
Leah, you look tiny in your frame. You've got to sit up. Go over there.
I'm trying.
You're not in the right position.
I'm gonna have to
look how far
it.
off I am.
You what? I am.
You're not in the corner.
I am.
Yeah, you are now.
What, do you want me right over here?
That's where I am.
But it looks like we're not friendly.
Well, you told me off for being too far in.
Yeah, because you start talking with your hands and going like this everywhere.
Degrading me again, guys.
Oh, I'm so hearing that word.
This one really struck a chord for me because as a child, I aspired to be good at football, mainly because it would make my life easier at school.
Really? Did you?
Listen.
Why didn't you come to me for help?
Because you think I'm going to want to come to my sister. Sorry, not to be all stereotypical. But do you really think I, a young lad that had a bee in his bonnet because he was closeted, do you really think I'm going to come to you and my sister and be like, can you teach me how to play football? No. So I'm going to watch some YouTube videos and I'm going to figure it out for myself. Right? Because obviously at school, football did not come naturally to me, so I would just stand off to the side. And if the ball came towards me, I'd let it go past. You know, because for me it was like the embarrassment of trying to kick it and failing was less embarrassing. Like it would be less embarrassing to just not even try, which is so sad, isn't it? Degrading, you say.
No, but that's what I mean. You should have been like, Leah, do you want to go and play a bit of football, and did it with me?
But would you have been?
Would you not have been more comfortable trying it with me? And then you would have got better by
You
practice.
would have been so mean to me. You would have been.
But you can take it from your sister. Come on.
No, I don't think I can. I don't think you understand, Leah. When I was that age, I strangled Caitlin.
It's like
I was violent. I don't think I could have taken it. Leah, I was on the edge for a while before I came out.
I know. I know.
Exactly. So I don't think I could have taken it.
To be fair, I was a bit like that because even with the roller skates, I told you to lean back.
Well, this is the thing, guys. I was always like, she was like, I tried to get on some roller skates and I'd be like, right, what am I doing? What am I doing? She was like, the trick is to lean back. That's how you're supposed to do this. What the fuck? And I was naive and dumb, and I thought, you know what? She is my sister.
And I was good on the roller skates.
She's my closest sibling. She's not going to steer me wrong. And of course,
I just wanted to see him fall.
Exactly. So you wonder why I wouldn't come to you and ask for you to help me play football.
Oh, come on now. It's brother and sister.
No, but anyway.
Go on, carry on.
So obviously I didn't go to you. I thought, you know what, I'm going to watch some YouTube videos. I'm going to figure it out.
You watched YouTube videos on how to play football?
Well, the rules.
I did not know this.
I watched another rule. Well, no one knew this. I kept this to myself. So then I went out into the garden one evening because no one else was out, and I was like, right, I'm gonna figure out what I'm doing here. I'm gonna try dribbling. You know, I'm gonna try and get the coordination.
Do a few kick-ups.
Yeah, get the coordination going. The problem was I was barefoot. Right, which would have been
a rookie mistake,
but would have been fine. Ultimately, like it's not going to be the worst. But guys, our back garden had a brick wall surrounding it.
I've got another story about being mean to you.
Yeah, exactly, because you did it all the time. So there was a brick wall in our garden, still is, obviously. So like I was like trying to kick the ball and like kicking it to like the wall and back, and it'd come back to me, and I thought that was kind of cool. Speaking of, I would like to go to one of those places where, do you know when you play tennis and you hit it against the wall?
Squash.
Is that what it's called? Squash. I don't think that's right.
It is. Well, we used to go. We used to go to that dance school, right, at the squash club, because it had the squash thing in there. Remember?
Let's go play squash.
We should give it a go sometime.
I would love to play squash.
I wonder if there's one in Leeds. There might be.
I'd love a little tennis outfit.
That's what it's about.
Well, yes.
To be fair, I have.
You'd love a little tennis skirt. You'd love it.
I did have one, but I chucked it away because I didn't have the space to come home. A white
And
one.
that you thought would take the space up.
I chucked quite a lot of my white stuff away. Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I was booting the ball to the wall, and I basically, long story short, kicked my foot on the wall and split my toes open, and then they were all bloody. I've still got the picture to this day. I think I posted it on Facebook.
We've actually got,
gross.
Probably. We've actually got a few stories of like football in the garden, because there was one time I booted the football over the back fence. Then my dad jumped over the back fence to get it, but landed on a plank of wood the wrong way and broke his ankle.
Honestly, looking back, he was dumb for that.
Oh yeah.
How do you just go pole vaulting over and not even like look what's over there?
But I really felt like that was my fault.
It was your fault.
Because I kicked the football
That's
over.
because it was.
And
also, like, because obviously now it's like, it's been renovated, right? All that back bit's been renovated.
Yeah.
Guys, at this point, it was like shrubbery
yeah.
and brushes.
Yeah. And then the other story was when we kicked the football over the next door neighbour's garden.
Oh my God, this is trauma. This is trauma.
This is another story.
I haven't thought about this in a long time.
I was probably being mean.
Yeah. Bullying me into doing things again.
Yeah, but that's the job of the older sister.
And she wonders why I wouldn't go to her and be like, can you teach me how to play football?
Well, basically, we kicked it over to the next door neighbour, but this next door neighbour, we were like, it wasn't that friendly of a neighbour, really, was it?
No.
And they had their back door open, and they had.
I don't remember this man.
So they had a dog that wasn't the most friendly.
Vicious.
And obviously the back door was open, but we couldn't see the dog. So then
it looked like it was just like in its cage asleep.
We thought, it's probably sleeping or something, yeah, because it wasn't coming out. And then I said, Brad, why don't you go over and get it?
Yeah.
It's fine, it's sleeping.
And I'm sure you were like, oh, you'll be faster, like you would have like egged me up or something, guaranteed, made me feel good about myself so I could go and do it for you. Yeah, exactly. Didn't want to put herself at risk. That's what would have happened, guys, guaranteed, because that's how she works things. Even to this day, she'll boost my ego to make me do stuff for her.
And then...
Continue.
So he went over, and then suddenly his dog came running.
And guys, it was vicious. Like, it was not happy with me, which, honestly, I can't even say anything bad about the dog because I was in its territory. You know, it was his garden. I had no business.
Literally.
So completely understandable.
So then he legs it back over, but it doesn't climb up the fence properly.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm not thinking, oh, there's a huge dog barking, coming for me, gonna bite me. I'm not gonna think, oh, let me put my feet in the right position and just get over the fence nicely. I'm jumping.
He dived.
Yeah, I'm pole vaulting over that fence as quick as possible.
But then you cut all your leg, didn't you?
All down the front, scraped it, yeah. And it was all your fault once again. And you know what? I've got others. I've had so many traumatic stories like from childhood. No wonder I don't remember anything. Because do you remember at school? Guys, so many horrible and embarrassing things happened to me at school, honestly, and in childhood. No wonder I blocked things out. Maybe this is... Well, I need to go to therapy.
Why did that dog chase you out of all people?
Honestly, God knows. But do you know, Leah, when I think back at it, it feels like it's like a dream. I'm never really sure if it actually happened or not, but then I speak to other people and I'm like, oh, it really fucking did happen.
I just remember standing there watching you run while this dog was chasing you.
But everybody was. That's what's so embarrassing. It's the whole school was just stood watching me. So, guys, to fill you in, because I understand we're just laughing about it, and you don't know what about yet. Long story short, we were in the playground. It was obviously a recess, if you're from America.
This was primary school.
Primary school, yeah. So, if you were still at school, I must have been like year 4 or 5. Because was Amy still at school at that point? Because Amy was still at school when I punched that guy.
I reckon you must have been about 7 years old.
I was young. Really young. Right, young and sprightly. So then, basically, in the field, because there was a huge field at the back of our school that obviously everyone used to play on and whatever, there was like a little hole in the fence. And out of fucking nowhere, I would have just been playing with the girlies, playing Charmed, or because me and Yasmin always used to play Sharpay and Ryan Evans.
Yeah.
Don't know why. Always loved that. So then this dog appears out of the fucking bushes, beelines for the one and only
Did you have anything in your bag or anything?
I wasn't wearing a bag. It was break. All I had on was my clothes.
Did you?
I think he just saw the big dump truck and thought, yeah, I'll have a bite of that. Although back then I was like a rail. I was rail thin, so probably
you
not.
were.
But anyway, so yeah, beelines for me. Everybody else obviously like scrambles. It comes for me. It targets me specifically, which feels homophobic.
Stop it, because I can't.
And then yeah, so I'm then running. And I don't think I've ever ran so fast in all my life. Running around this joint while everybody just watches. And this dog is like nipping at my heels, is close. How did it end?
I actually don't know how you got out of that. I don't know.
I can't even think about it. I can't even, like, that is something I really do think I've blocked out of my mind. For obvious reasons.
But maybe it targeted you because you started running. Maybe that was it.
I think probably a lot of people started running. I don't think it was just me, the one fairy in the whole place that started running first. I don't think that's the case.
Maybe you had the most flamboyant run, so it came after you.
See, why are we being homophobic again? Let's just say it was
yeah.
a coincidence that it chose me.
And also, you say this, that I was so horrible to you, but yet who was the one that stuck up for you half the time at school? Who was the one that got sent out of her favourite lesson at high school because she was sticking up for him?
Well, I think that's the least you could do.
But well, but as my job as a sister to give you a little bit of,
Well,
you know?
Absolutely. And I think I gave you grief also.
Oh, yeah,
but like,
absolutely. With
especially when we got older. But still, it's not nice. And yes, you stuck up for me, but as you fucking should do, I would have stuck up for you if people were saying nasty things about you, and I have done.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, because guys, people in her year were calling me nasty names, obviously.
Yeah.
And she stuck up for me.
I found it really odd because we literally just did a performance in our assembly.
Being praised.
And
Praised by the faculty.
And then because they were saying stuff in my maths class, and then I was like, I think I was kicking off, and I was like, why are you saying stuff about him? Like, why are you not saying stuff about me as well? We're both up there doing it. If you're going to say something, you can say it about both of us, not just him. Why is it him? And I was like,
Imagine if they were like, well, you're a lesbo then. Imagine. Imagine who started coming at you with that.
But I was
Wild.
having a proper go at him, and then my teacher was like, Leah, out.
How fucked up is that you got sent out?
Yeah.
I know you were causing havoc. So I guess it was the easiest way to simmer them down.
Yeah.
But you'd think like these people would be chastised for bullying a student. Like, yeah, the student's not in the class, but like, this is what I mean, like...
Yeah, to be
just
fair,
allowed bullying.
that teacher was like, I've just brought you out to calm you down.
No, totally.
Like,
but still.
and she understood like the matter, but like, obviously to the rest of the class, I was the one that got sent out.
Yeah, they're not going to
Like-
care. The reason why you got sent out, they didn't get told off or anything, did they? This has turned into like traumatic childhood stories, to be honest. This was not what this was meant to be. But anyway, let's just read some more hobbies.
What's the story in Baltimore? Would you like to know?
And boy, have we told stories.
The stories.
Played the trumpet, didn't last. As soon as I found out about the spit hole, I was out.
What's that mean?
Because I think there's obviously you have to blow into it, so I assume there's like spit that goes into the
Oh,
trumpet.
that's gross. Yeah, no, I'd be out too.
But I'm assuming is the spit hole like a receptacle for the spit, and then they have to empty the spit hole.
That's gross. Can I read some?
Yeah, but can you look at what the spit hole is? Because I'm kind of intrigued now.
So the spit hole on a trumpet is more accurately called a water key or spit valve. It's a small, usually lever operated hole that allows players to drain excess moisture, not just saliva, that condenses inside the trumpet from their breath.
So I was right. There is like a receptacle for the spit, and it gets released.
It's not necessarily though their saliva. It can be from their breath, the condensation.
But also spit.
Yeah.
It said saliva as well.
So
like,
not just saliva.
But like even just like the condensation, sweaty breath in there, sweaty liquid breath. Fucking hell. That's gross. Yeah, I don't blame you being out for that.
Also, this one, I have something to say. This one says, acting and dancing. I stopped dancing due to body image and have massive regret from this. Trust me, lucky escape.
We could do a whole episode on body image. Fucking hell.
If you wanted me to go deep into that, because I feel like a lot of people wouldn't even know what goes on in my head, and obviously Brad knows a lot about this, and I feel like it's affected me a bit more than him. He still has his own like things as well from dancing and stuff, but
see, mine isn't necessarily as much from dancing. Mine's more just like being online now. Like I have more issues now than I used to.
Yeah, see,
you had more growing up, I feel.
Yeah,
for sure.
But it still had an effect on me now.
Oh, of course, generational trauma.
Also, like, I think that also you have to make sure you've got the right people around you as well, because I didn't for a few years, and that actually made mine 10 times worse.
I did actually mention in a Dance Mums episode, hopefully you don't mind, but I did mention how you got mistreated in our first dance thing, and how they kind of degraded you, and people were talking about that in the comments, being like, that is crazy. And I was like, yeah, but this is like, that's just one example.
Yeah.
Of,
oh
like,
my gosh.
Shit that you got, and I was just like, that was just one like prevalent one that came to mind. So I mean, yeah, guys, if you want us to talk more in depth and have like a deep chat about more
like body shaming and stuff like that,
just like dark shit, man, but like hopefully, well, not hopefully, but I imagine relatable shit.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not to actually get everyone on a down about. Sometimes I think with stuff like that, it helps if you know that someone else is also going through the same thing you are.
Well, that's why I speak about my skin all the time.
Yeah.
Because like it's actually more common than you'd think, especially these days with social media. I don't even think like these kind of issues like body image and whatnot, it's not just performers.
No,
like even just being online is enough to like get you spiraling about this shit.
Even this whole AI shit now is so
well, yeah, it's
scary.
Like everyone's editing everything.
Yeah, it's
like,
scary.
I mean, I'm the first one to admit like I do edit out like my skin and stuff, but that's because of my own shit.
Yeah, but like I don't edit my photos anymore, but that's because I don't have as bad acne anymore as what I used to. Because I could also go on about that. Like I've had really bad adult acne like in the past few years, and it's only just cleared up, but I can explain why that has, but I know that it would come back if I stopped doing
Go
this.
into it, why not, Maria?
Have we got time in this
Sure,
one?
fuck it.
So I don't mind, I can put a picture on the thing of how bad it got. And I know people have a lot worse, but obviously as an adult, because you get told as a teenager all the time that you're like,
it goes away,
it'll clear up, it's fine, it's just it's because of puberty, but actually, yeah, I did have a few like spots and stuff when I was a teenager, but then I've always had it a lot worse as an adult. And then you're like, I'm an adult, why am I still getting these spots? Like I'd go teaching and there'd be a kid going, what's that on your face? And I'm like, it's spots, you're gonna get them one day.
Kids, man, fuck kids, man.
I'm like, you just wait, you're gonna get them one day, like that. But you know, it's just kids being kids. They don't know what they're saying.
Yeah,
but,
it's like no filter.
Yeah. But like it got really bad last year when I was on the ship. Like even my back and everything. I think I've got pictures of that as well. I can put it on. To the point where this is how bad it was, that I would finish a show, because obviously you have to wear makeup for the show. I would finish the show, then obviously we shower and stuff, and then we had to go for what we call show food. And even the thought of going out of my cabin, just walking down the M1 to go and get show food, I had to put BB cream on my face. So I just showered and took all my makeup off, and then I still had to put BB cream on my face.
And it's one of those things that's like, it's a double-edged sword, because it's like the more you apply stuff to your face, the more your skin's going to react to it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a double-edged sword in that sort of way.
Yeah, and then my back, I've still got a lot of scarring on my back now, but that only just cleared up more recently. And even with that, I was putting makeup on my back, because there were some dresses that I wanted to wear and I was embarrassed to wear them because of how bad my back knee was. So I was actually there like bending myself in half to try and put makeup on my back just to cover it a little bit, because people don't mind pointing stuff out. And you're like I had 2 examples in one day when I was on the ship, and one was from a guest and one was from another member of crew, and they were both like, have you got like had some sort of reaction on your back or something like that? And I'm like, no, it's just acne. Like clearly they can see, so why do they feel like they have to point it
Honestly,
out?
I feel this
like
to my core.
Even if it is a reaction, you don't need to point it out. You don't know what that person's going through. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I can like with my adult acne, obviously I don't know if you can tell, it's cleared up a lot. I still get the odd spot, and I am on my period right now, so one's just come out. But
what's helped it, do you know?
Mine is hormonal imbalance. Right. So because I was always like trying loads of different skincare, I was like, nothing's helping, it's just making it worse. And then I was like, oh, it's because of the milk I drink. Oh, it's because I eat a lot of chocolate. It was because of this, because of that. And I'm like, no, but I've done that all my life. Like it was
same with my psoriasis. I'm literally in the same fucking boat. Like it's crazy.
And basically, I'm always going to probably still get spots a little bit because I am an acne prone person. But with the way it was inflamed, as you saw in the photo, that was because I came off the pill and then I had withdrawals from it. And then it was the hormone. When I went to the doctors, they were like, it's the hormonal imbalance. So we can either put you on Accutane, which obviously a lot of people go on just to try with that. Yeah. Which then I couldn't do that because still like you need to be around. Like you need to be on a course fit, but you need to be around. And I was going on my next contract again. But then I was just like, I'll just go back on the pill. So then I've done that, and then it's actually a pill they've given me that actually they do prescribe to people for acne. It's not,
that's good.
Yeah, so I actually ended up paying for it because he didn't put it down on the thing that it was actually for contraception as well. So, but then, you know, when you just can't be bothered to go and be like, honestly, can they change it?
You get to that point, you're just like, you know what? If it helps me, I'll fucking pay for it.
Yeah, so it is a thing that they do prescribe for just acne. So, and it's actually really helped.
What is it called? Do you know the name? Just because, like, it might help people if they have a similar thing.
I might be able to input it on the thing because I'll have it in my bag.
Obviously, I just want to say
everybody's different.
Everybody's different. Everyone's like menstrual, whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone's different in that sort of way.
Yeah.
So like, we're not saying anything's going to help anybody the same, but for her, it helped. So maybe it's at least worth maybe inquiring about it potentially if you also have.
But I would say, because obviously I don't want to always be on the pill and stuff anyways, then obviously there is going to become a day that I'm not going to be on it anymore, so I know it's probably going to come back, so I'm going to have to find another way. But I've never tried Accutane, I've never tried any of that, but because I've not been around to do it. But I just say, if you're having problems like that, just go to the doctors and see what they can do, because and it's likely, because mine is more around the jaws and on the neck here.
That's hormones, right?
It's hormones.
Yeah.
It's mainly hormones.
Because I remember growing up and stuff, like even when we were like teenagers, like you'd like look at like the charts and stuff, because there's charts that like obviously show you that. But like I watched like a YouTuber, she's called Soph, and she like is the same as you. Like that's why I kind of know what you're talking about, because she's spoken about it before. And hers is all hormone, because it's like very like jawline vibes. But I remember like you looking at all the like face charts and stuff that kind of show you like where you kind of get your acne and kind of what that kind of can pertain to. It's very interesting skin, isn't it? Yeah,
but it affects your confidence loads. Like,
honey,
I used to, like, I remember on my last contract last year, my friend Lewis, he'd be like, Leah, let's go and do this, Leah. And I was like, I'm not doing anything right now. I don't want to leave my cabin. Like, I didn't want to do anything because of how I looked. And I know that sounds really shallow, but it's your face. Like, and you think, I know it's worse, like, you see it worse than what other people see it, because we look at just that. Totally. Whereas when people see your face, they just see your face. And they might see the odd thing, but they're not zoning in on that like we do. But for me, and if anyone else is the same, like, that's what you concentrate on the most when you look in the mirror, and your confidence is a big thing. So, yeah.
Well, especially, like, not to keep harping on, but also like being a performer as a job. It's like we're already scrutinizing ourselves and looking at ourselves so in depth every day. Like even just like training, you're looking in the mirror constantly every fucking day to make sure everything's looking correct. You've got no flabby bits. You're like sucking in your tummy. Do you know what I mean? Like you're like really scanning everything every single day. So we're already hyper aware of our appearance. So then when you have something like this, because I had the same sort of thing, obviously not acne, but like in uni, because in uni is when my psoriasis started, and like you mentioned, obviously people have no fucking issue commenting on stuff, and not always like, because I'm of the belief that like if you want to come to me privately and actually just like ask me about it, I have no issue with that, because I'd rather people ask me about it and want to understand what it is, rather than assuming they know what it is and running with it and just kind of like bringing it to you as like a negative. I think there's a very different way of doing it. So like I had a girlie who I'm really good friends with now called Molly, and she just kind of like came up to me and was just like, I hope you don't mind, and obviously you don't have to speak about it to me if you don't want to, but then just asked me about it, and I was like, you know what, this I enjoy, and I'd rather people do that than either look at me funny or like whatever, because obviously it is something people will notice, and yeah, it's just kind of the way that you ask people about it. And I can see how you said about how people would say it to you, especially when it's like you're on a contract with guests. Like the last thing you'd want is a guest to come up to you and ask about your appearance in like a negative way. Like it would really fuck me up. So like obviously I had the similar thing in uni, because the whole thing with psoriasis is like, you can't sweat because it makes it worse. Like, you can't do all this stuff. And I'm like, you can't wear tight clothes, you can't sweat. And I'm like, well, I'm at uni wearing tight clothes and sweating. So what do I do?
Well, I think that was the biggest problem with my back, and that's why that took so long to clear up, because obviously a lot of the costumes as well. These costumes you don't get new ones. They get passed from cast to cast to cast to cast. Yeah. And then they can't even be washed properly half the time. You have to hand wash them. Like, it is actually disgusting.
It's gross.
So I'm like, that's probably not helping my back either. And then you're sweating in them, and then it's like, well, then you'd have 2 shows a night. So I used to have to go and shower in between the shows. I'd have my full face of makeup on, because obviously I couldn't do that again in that space. But I used to go shower to clear it all off, and then go back into my and I was like, I'll do anything to try and help it. The worst thing that happened to me once, so like, well, one of the bad times, a woman, please, if you've got clear skin, don't act like you know it all about your skin. Like, just because you're lucky to not have acne doesn't mean that we're not taking care of ourselves. Because I once had a lady who was lucky to have perfect skin say, Leah, you need to take better care of your skin. And I was like, what do you mean?
Oh my God, the way I would have floored this bitch.
And I broke down into tears. Like, I was literally like, I try and do everything I can to sort out my skin. If I knew what you were doing would work for me, then fine, but it won't, because everybody's different. Like,
and you find half the time, I'll say this, I'd say, like, for example, you with your acne, you'll find that these kind of people do more to try and benefit their skin than the average person does.
Oh yeah.
Like, obviously, like, yes, there is cases where people like are unhygienic, and that's probably why they have skin issues. But like, a lot of the time, people that have acne prone skin and whatnot, you'll find that these people actually try more products and try all these different remedies to try and solve it more than the average person would. And it's the same with like psoriasis. Like, I moisturize my body fucking several times a day more than the fucking average person. And it's just like, they see an imperfection and they're like, well, you're clearly not doing something to clear that up.
Yeah.
People don't understand that it's like, it's not something that can just be cured. Like, people have genetically different things. Like, and also, like, stress is a huge thing. Obviously, like, the more you stress about something, the worse it gets, which that's a whole nother thing.
See, I think I might be quite hormonally charged. Is that the word? Because would that make sense with me being so emotional all the time? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I think you definitely, like, you kind of
I'm on the heightened end of
your emotions are kind of always
on the surface.
Yeah, they're kind of always there, ready to.
So you know, like, when women are like, "Oh, I'm a bit more hormonal today," that's me all the time.
Yeah, you are.
So maybe that's why, like, I do, like, maybe that's why, yeah.
I think the more and more, obviously, like, everything gets bigger, and like social media gets bigger, and everything's very unhealthy. I think it's just very, very important, if we're going to try and keep this on a light note to end on, because obviously we have hit on something a bit more deep here. I think it's very important to try and find confidence, and this is what I'm trying to do. Like, this is not me saying that I've mastered this in any way. I think it's important for us to try and find confidence and validity in ourselves outside of just our appearance. Because I do that way too much, and I know I do. Like, I put all my worth and all my validity in, most of the time, what I look like and what people see, because obviously I live my life online.
But also, I think that's from us growing up dancing. That's a big part of, like, the dancing world.
Totally, but I'm sure a lot of people feel it.
Yeah, and I think you need to just surround yourself with people that don't care about that shit. Like, I met someone last year that when I was in this, like, bad state, and then now, like, I say, oh, look at how much better my skin, and he was like, Leah, I don't even care. Like, but I'm always like, and then when I'm on the phone to Brad, I'll go, Brad, look at my skin, look at how much better it is, look at how better. And then he's like, Leah, I don't care. Like, it's
not that I don't care, I don't notice.
Yeah, like,
I don't notice.
Like, but that's a good thing. Like, because they're not being like, because you know, and then when someone goes, oh, your skin's looking better, isn't it?
Yeah, because like, to me that says, well, you looked at me before and you thought, oh, fucking hell, your skin's bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's the exact same thing for me. Like, whenever people are like talking about my psoriasis and being like, oh, like, that's toned down a bit. And I'm like, right, so you saw me before and thought, fucking hell, that's raw.
Yeah, so you need to surround yourself with people that don't, like, make you feel like that.
They're there for you, but they're also, like, not judging you based off of these things. And I think that's also important for us to reflect that onto ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah,
because that's what I'm trying to do at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a story for another day, but I also had another experience in terms of, like, with my body that didn't help me.
I think body stuff we can save for another day, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, I know, you've had a lot.
Yeah.
Right, well, should we end on a question?
Yeah.
Let's have a gander. Give me a sec.
But yeah, just a last note. So
if
you are having acne problems around the jaw and like basically like mine, and it's been more in your adult life, then stop. Like obviously still go with like your skincare and stuff like that, but stop thinking, oh, I need to try this product, I need to try that product, I need to try this. It's your hormones. It's likely to be your hormones. So go to the doctors, try and get a solution that way, because it's not going to be done with all these potions and lotions on your skin. It needs to be working from the inside. But yeah, to give you a bit of hope on having a solution.
Yeah.
Now it's time for the question of the week.
Oh, is this a tune?
Yeah.
Okay, slay. Best holiday destination you've been?
Oh gosh, I've had many different holidays. But I think nowadays I prefer going and seeing seeing things. I don't want to like when we were younger we used to go on like all inclusive holidays and like you sit around the pool. I mean,
there's a time and place for that. Like summer holidays
like family
are
time
cute and like
stuff.
chilling out is cute. But like I do enjoy like a city break. Where have I been?
I think New York's the best for me.
I think I've loved Paris so far. Paris has been my favorite, just because like I love like the artistry of Paris. I love like I went to the Louvre, loved it, and like me and Leah were on a really good vibe. We stayed in a really good like Airbnb, because I love a holiday where it's just like you like when I go to these sorts of places, I like to act as though I'm a local. Like I like to just like, because obviously like the Parisian culture is very much like go sit at a coffee shop, obviously have a smoke. I didn't have a smoke. I'm not a smoker. So there's that. But like sitting at a coffee shop, just like chilling, people watching, you know, like that's kind of their energy. And yeah, we did just that, and it was a really great time. So I'd probably say Paris. I'd love to go again.
See, it's really hard because I really like New York, but then I found like the hustle and bustle of like Times Square too much for me.
Yeah, so much.
And it stinks of weed constantly. Like absolutely, like, and you know I can't stand it. Like I'm literally walking around like, get me out of here. But then I found whenever I've gone anywhere like that, like even when I went to Thailand, like I prefer the areas that are a bit more rural. Is that the word?
That's fair.
So like in New York I preferred like Central Park area because it was a bit quieter.
I think I would
and
also.
It's just beautiful. Yeah. But then I did like Thailand, and I liked like the experiences in Thailand were really good.
Yeah.
Like going to see the elephants and stuff. Which is crazy because like literally they're just there like in the wild, and I'm stood
and, like,
there.
They could stamp on you.
Yeah, I'm stood there walking next to an elephant.
And they could they could stamp on you and kill you.
And also like the best bit is when they go in the mud baths. Well, but I'm surprised I did this. They go in the mud baths and you could just go, because they love being like covered in the mud, right? But then I saw one of them shit in the mud, and I was straight out of there. I was like, fuck.
They poop in. Well, of course they'll poop out anywhere.
Yeah. So I was like, so I've just basically been stood in elephant poop, because they're not going to clear the mud out, are they?
Absolutely fucking not. You were stood all up in that.
So I was straight out of there, and but then you do go into like the baths, like the stream.
Oh,
because then
gosh.
Because then do you know what they do? Like they literally thingy up water with their trunk and spray you because they find it funny.
Spraying you with elephant poop.
No, that was in the streams with water, because you go and wash them off.
So do they not spray you there?
No, they didn't spray you with the mud.
Right.
They just sprayed you in the water bit.
No, I do think elephants are comedic.
And you felt like they were laughing at you.
Yeah.
Like they do it on purpose.
Animals, man. I wish animals could speak. Anyway.
Yeah.
Should we end that here?
Yeah, so that was
all right, guys. Another long episode, I imagine.
Yeah, we do get chatting,
but
I've realised.
I like it. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you again next week. Leave your thoughts down in the comments. Make sure to give us a 5-star review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
absolutely.
Google Podcasts. Follow the Instagram, subscribe to the second channel. You know, all the things, guys. It takes a village.
Yeah.
Right?
Just take 5 minutes out of your day
Please.
to do all that. There we go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Love you. Bye.
See you later. Bye.